Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris with the Simple Empire podcast. Hope you're having an awesome day. And I am really excited to have Stephanie Person on the show today. She has a YouTube channel, Facebook. She's doing it all. And we reached out to her. Her YouTube channel, by the way, is Stephanie Keto Person, if you want to check it out, which we'll also link to. But reached out to Stephanie because we came across her channel on YouTube, and she's closing in on 100,000 subscribers. She's incredibly active and has a really great relationship with her audience, and especially if you go on her Facebook page, she's got even, I think last I saw, that about 30,000 people following her on Facebook. So wanted to feature her, have her share her story of what's worked, what hasn't worked for growing her channel, and then also just kind of how she got started. So Stephanie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, I wondered if we could start just kind of at the beginning. So tell us a little bit about your journey into keto, and then also your journey kind of starting your YouTube channel. So I think we can kind of combine those topics.
Yes. So I was just, well, I've been into health and fitness for a very long time. I used to be a trainer, obviously. Actually, I used to be a professional skateboarder, busted my knee, and then got into fitness. And then I used to live in Sweden. And then when I moved back home, my mom got sick with a type of cancer. It's an aggressive cancer called a glioblastoma. And basically nobody survives it. And I started off doing a couple fitness videos on my YouTube channel. And I had heard about the ketogenic diet. Like this is 13 years ago. So this isn't like the 3-year trend that's been going on right now. So nobody had heard about it at that juncture. And then I was like, well, let's give this a try. They gave her less than 1% survival, 3 months to live. She's still alive today. So let's just put it this way. I'll never take credit for saving her butt, but I did put her on a ketogenic diet, and for some reason she's still alive.
Wow.
And so from there, I was obsessed. So to do that type of dietary measure where you cut out your carbs and such and up your fat, I wanted to talk about it online because it's very confusing to do it. So the very first YouTube video I did, I stuck my crappy phone that was on like a towel rack, and I remember it kept falling because I just remember that first video of trying to talk about keto, and I put it there and I sat there and talked about the diet, and then instantly people were like, within that first week, people were like, "Can you put a meal plan together?" And I was like, "I'm not doing this I'm just trying to teach people." Like I had no plan to make this a business, and I was like, "I guess so." Okay, so I just put her on the plan that I had created for myself. So to get my mom to do this dietary measure, I did it with her, or else she was never going to eat that way. And so I gave it to them, and then I felt really weird. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I'm scared. I'm nervous because these are people on the internet and I'm telling them how to eat. What if something goes wrong? And one person, not the first week, but soon after, I started putting together meal plans. And one person, it wasn't the woman, it was her boyfriend that did it based on my recommendations, and he had to go to the hospital because he was severely dehydrated because I didn't understand electrolytes back then. Well, that locked me down for about 4 years of learning about physiology because stuff does not play. And after that, I became super strict at this way to promote this dietary measure. When it started picking up steam, I stayed strict, which, we can go more into that because I kind of forgot the second question because I talked too much. But with me deciding to go very conservative on how to apply it, it definitely made people not want to go my direction in the beginning. They're like, she's too strict. We'll just go towards these people that are just servicing what our food addictions want. So that's basically how I started.
Cool. So, I mean, it sounds like on the amazing story about your mom and the ketogenic diet, it sounds like as far as starting your YouTube channel, you said you didn't plan to have like an actual business out of it, but you were just putting something out there to help others. And so it sounds like that was kind of your motivation from the beginning. Is that fair?
That's 100% fair, because to this day, it's just what I do. And I'm very, very much known for that. So now, after all of these years of like them putting me up on Reddit and telling me I was crazy because I was telling people to cut out all these inflammatory foods at that time, it's like 7 years ago. At that time, people are desperate. Excuse the sirens here in LA. There's like sirens always in the background, but I digress. Yeah, so back in the day, people did not know what to do, so they were eating a lot of cheese, nuts, and drinking a lot of coffee and getting really sick. And I kept saying, don't eat those foods; they're inflammatory for certain reasons. And so I was even on Reddit and all these different. A lot of things actually is really interesting, because a lot of things happened in the very beginning where. The first keto book that came out, there was all these amazing PhDs, and then Stephanie. And I asked the guy, I was like, why are you asking me to contribute to this book? And he goes, because you speak to your audience. So again, like I'm so distracted by all the sirens, I kind of forgot the whole question.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were just you're agreeing with me of what your motivation was to help other people.
To help other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's super cool that you also got to take part in a book. So it was you and a bunch of PhD folks, huh?
Yeah, big names. Yeah,
Oh,
Dr.
cool.
David Perlmutter, a lot of big names. And I asked the guy, I was like, why? This is years ago. I was like, why do you want me? He's like, I need a real perspective. And this was a long time ago. So that really helped catapult my name, because I was with like 25 MDs. And so that really helped a lot as well. And then from there, I started getting interviewed by like tons of podcasts, magazines, and I started to tour and talk, and it just started exploding. But the whole motivation, like I didn't even monetize my YouTube videos for years, because I just didn't want people to watch 15 seconds of advertising. Like, I don't care. People are like, you're missing out on money. I was like, I don't care. I didn't. I want people to hear what I'm saying. But that messed me up too, because that buried me in the algorithm. So I could have so many more subscribers had I been monetizing from the beginning. That's another dumb thing I didn't do. But now I'm learning my integrity and still build my business properly.
Yeah, that's a valuable point for anybody listening and they're getting started in YouTube, is to what I'm taking away from that is to pay attention to how the YouTube algorithm works, and don't shoot yourself in the foot early on, unless it's strategic, I guess. But it sounds like that once you started showing ads on your videos, you started to see your viewership and subscribers go up as well.
Yeah, it was like they really decided about 2 years ago that if you didn't monetize your stuff, they were going to pull you out of the algorithm. And I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? People are like, oh my God, you're being shadow banned. I can't find your stuff. And I still was resisting and wanting to put ads on my videos, because I work really hard with my own business. I wasn't thirsty for money. I make money. We're in a new era. I'm turning 53 in a few days. So for me, like, I'm growing up in an era without like that thirst of desperation to make. You can still make money without. It's like I got a book deal by a publishing company, and I want to keep it real. I wanted to keep it real at the time, which I've always kept it real. But another guy, I was asking him for advice about writing a book, and he goes, Stephanie, you gotta like bend the truth a little bit. And I was like, what? He goes, it won't sell if you don't. I was like, he said, you can't sell the truth. And I said, watch me. So I am probably an untraditional sort of business owner to what you normally, or who you normally speak with, because I'm like really against being too obsessed with money, because you'll lose the fun of the passion and the fun out of doing this forever. So in this 13 years of doing this, I have seen people come and go and I've just always been there. And my audience is like ride or die, like solid. They're like, we're with you, we got you. I'm not just a bunch of looky-loos and I got a million, subscribers, they come and go, and they buy my stuff and then they get bored with you and they're on to the next person they want to follow. So at least that's the good part of it. But now I've started monetizing and, being more strategic and still keeping my integrity.
I want to ask about just what it takes to run a YouTube channel like yours, like the mechanics of it. Like, how do you, what's your process? How do you come up with ideas of what kind of content you're going to create?
Okay, so I think it depends on the genre and which you're in.
Sure.
Because I've been on YouTube for so many years, I've helped people who like are mechanics. I'm like, you should do a YouTube channel and do like car reviews. Just you and like a couple buddies in like the garage, right? Like the man's cave car review. And I said that's one because I know how it works. I know how people like to follow something. Even myself is looking for stuff to watch. And so with what I do, which is keto, it's kind of limiting. I kind of get bored. That's why I like this interview just about business. I'm bored because I'm like Aretha Franklin singing the same song all the time. It's like I sing it all the time. You want new songs. And I feel like I'm a very a diverse person. Being a pro skater and traveling around the world, living out of the country for so many years, seeing what's going on in today's times. And then this, anti-aging. So I'm all for like, staying young. Like you don't have to age because people say, oh, you're at this age, you need to act like this or do this or that or whatever, or to not lose the fearless, let's go, to not lose that as you get older. So I love talking about all those types of subjects. But with what I was doing in the genre in which I locked myself into, that's why I wanted to be called Stephanie Person on this talk today instead of Stephanie Keto Person. So the first thing that I did now is I opened up my dietary measure to people who still eat carbs. So that's called low carb, high fat. Then keto, which is high fat, low carb from vegetables of the cruciferous type, which would be fibrous vegetables like broccoli, and then protein moderate to low. And now what's trending is a thing called carnivore. And that's for people people right now, you guys watching, you don't realize that all plants have poison. Yes, they have the least amount of poison when they're about to die because they're not still trying to survive. So they have different levels and they're called all these names like salicylates, oxalates, goitrogens. The big one people know is gluten. That's the big killer of the gut wall. You have a tight gut wall, it opens it up and creates, your body begins to attack itself because it doesn't understand the big particles entering the body. But with that said, people go straight over to carnivore to just get out all plants. Not that we're not supposed to eat plants, but plants grow in season. We don't eat plants in season anymore. We're eating genetically modified, selectively bred, hybridized plants, right? And so we don't even think anymore on us as consumers. We're like eating fruit and all this kind of stuff dead of winter, not realizing that our bodies don't get a break from these plants and nutrients. Because normally you would eat something in season and it's wildly grown and it's okay, and then you'd purge out things like oxalates that give you kidney stones. So how I promote my business within this realm is to open up actually and try to expand the borders of what I talk about as far as I can go, so I can hit different subjects that hit people emotionally. In my content, I've done a lot of traveling, so I like to incorporate all my travels. I've been traveling for as far back as I can remember. So I'll be like, and I'll do this strategically, like I'll be in Iceland. Like, okay, how do you guys survive in Iceland? Because freaking everything's too expensive to eat. So I booked my Airbnb next to a little mini mart and a bus stop because taxis there cost like $40 to go a block. So I'll explain how to do that. So it'll sort of, I can incorporate like the travel, like here's what's beautiful, here's what I did, like travel blogs, but it's still connecting it to the diet. But it's really about the traveling for me at that juncture. Or I'll go skateboarding, being the ex-pro vert skateboarder, and I'll go to like a mini ramp and go skate and be like, yo, this is what I'm taking for the day. Here's the electrolytes you need to mind, or else these are the symptoms that are going to slam you. Because a lot of you guys out there have issues. You don't realize it's connected to something. You're always going like, why am I so tired today? I did the same thing today that I did yesterday. And I'll be like, no, but you didn't sleep as deep. You didn't hit REM. You didn't hit deep sleep. So your body wasn't able to repair whatever. Or any type of inflammatory thing that happens from like a food you ate. Anyway, so I will take the diet and I will expand upon on everyday life things to when I do videos. So I do videos. I did a video in the very beginning every single day for I think like 4 years. And that grew the channel quite quickly because every time you would even type in KET, my name would pop up. All my videos would pop up. Now this was trending before. Now this is 11 years ago. So I did it 2 years before I went to the internet. So if you go back 11 years ago, I'm like, not really understanding how to promote myself at that juncture. If I knew then what I know now, of course, I'd do things a lot differently. But I just had in my mind, do a video every day and corner the market, which is what I did, which is what happened. But then when keto started trending, they took it and they made it like party in the mouth. Like they made all of these faux fake carbs made out of almond flour, which is really bad for you. Guys don't know that, but it is. That's a long story. And they started making, I call it keto food porn. And then that kicked me way down. So the thing that I had in my mind was to be like Apple, right? Or Nike. I'll be the first established name. So when all the competition comes around, you'll always feel like something in my gut always says to go get, a Mac computer or to get like some Nikes because they just have a good reputation. So what I feel that I've done, even though I could have made a lot more money right now, is I have cemented myself into the long future. Because even now, like I posted a video yesterday about, why are you so hungry on these diets? And I hit all these key points and you just see the comments like, we love you. Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you. This is the best video ever. So what you do is you're paying attention to the reactions to the subjects that because I could say things like, oh my God, I have fabulous equipment, which I did. I bought $10,000 worth of equipment. I still film with my phone. It's, I did about 10 grand and I was like, I don't have time to sit here and all this nonsense. So that does help, having really nice, like polished, content. But my driving force is the actual content itself. I always had this thing also in my mind, like since I'm in my 50s, that like back in the day, they said when CDs came around, they used to say, if music still sounds good on a cassette, then it's a good song. You don't need all of the, the digital auditing of and manipulating of the song to make it sound better. And I've always had that philosophy. So even though I'm almost literally, I think I'm 900 people away from 100,000 subscribers, I could have 1 million today. And I know that I could have 1 million because all I have to do is put my 53-year-old butt in a bikini on camera and talk about weight loss programs. And I could have done that years ago and I never did. So how I've stayed current, it's not about, I wish people would stop chasing numbers and start chasing the quality of their audience. Because if your audience is like, loves you, it doesn't matter if you got 1 million or 100,000, people will purchase and be involved in whatever programs or anything that you put out there to monetize your business. They'll jump on it.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So much of what you're saying is, anybody who's a student of marketing listening will know that that's, rule number one is building a relationship with your audience, building it such that they know, like, and trust you. And, I would rather have, 100 subscribers who trust me and like me versus, 100,000 who they just subscribe because of, one video, or as you say, maybe they saw a hot girl in a bikini and they subscribe because they want to see more of that. They have no bond to the person on the screen. And one of the things that, as you were talking, that stuck out to me was that as far as like you live this stuff. And so a lot of your video, your content is just almost like as close to live stream as you can get, almost, of just like, this is how I'm applying the keto diet while I'm in Iceland or while I'm here, because those
Right
are,
Africa.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, this is how you live it. This is how you live it. And that naturally produces the kind of content that everybody wants, because they're all trying to figure out how to live it too.
Yeah, they're all trying to, I think that the audience, I think also I cornered a market that's sort of bulletproof, because I'm not selling shoes. I'm not selling a t-shirt. I'm not selling social media where you're putting out all these fake images. See, because like, I'll be around millennials all day long, because I'm sort of like, I live my life like a millennial, sort of, without the naive side of it. And all these influencers, they'll come and they'll go, and you know that they're going to come and go. And life's going to kick them in the butt. And sometimes they're not, the generations who are younger. See, I feel so awesome right now, because I have the experience of life, right? I've had all these years, so I'm not thirsty. Like, no one, all the trolls on the channels and all the social, because I'm on all the social media, Twitter and Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And people try to, especially today, they'll try to mess with you. They'll try to get really deep in your head and doubt everything you do. So you see all of this drama online, and they'll try to bait you to argue with someone else. And they really, really do it. And I watch almost everybody fall prey into this thing. And like, somebody was asking me, I released that video yesterday, and somebody's like, well, what about what this person says? I'm like, go talk to them about it. I don't give a crap. So I think that staying focused and staying true to who you really are. And if you're consistently like that, like you said, people will gravitate towards you, even though I'm in the keto sphere, in the dietary world. And I also chose a business that is health. So it's just health. Like, I could talk to you off camera and tick everything that you wouldn't even think about. And then I could make those improvements, right? And help you make those improvements. If you trust me, then I have you as a captive audience. And I can flip anybody who's doesn't give a crap about keto, because it's not the diet. I don't care about the diet. It's about the person and how they live their lives. My whole thing is, I can't believe how much we've been lied to about everything, or how blind we've become, that our organic selves are missing. So even in the process of doing business, people get lost in chasing the money. They just are looking for the views, the clicks, the dollars. You get lost. And that person might make a lot of money, but they're home alone, or they're home. They are insecure. They have anxiety. They've got gut issues. They can't sleep well. They're depressed. The serotonin levels are low. But on camera, they go like, "Hi guys, how are you today? Look at my fabulous life. Buy my product." They flip off the camera. So I think that's also a part of growing and having sustainability, is like, don't just do things strictly for the money, because you'll hate the more money you make. What is it? More money, more problems. And don't grow yourself too quickly, because you won't be able to, like I said, I could be saying, follow my 90-day weight loss program. So I almost never talk about weight loss, because people are obsessed with it. They don't think about their health. You can't lose weight. You can't fix your body unless your health is in order on the inside to the outside. So if you tell somebody to do something that's sensational, that gets clicks and views, you're not a happy person, because you start obsessing over numbers. You obsess. How many people watch this video? How many people purchase this? How many? How can you live life like that? And then you start looking what everybody else does, and then you start to trend what they do, like intermittent fasting, trend. And people straight up start obsessing over fasting. And I'm like, and they're like, why are you fasting? Well, I heard it's good for you. Okay, so how's it good for you? Because it gives you autophagy. What's autophagy? I don't know.
Right. Right.
I go, okay. And so I think that going back to that original subject of knowing why are you doing this? Because if you really enjoy it and you stay, I'm at this age where people cannot change who I am and make me feel insecure because they will test you all day. Then the experience of having a business that you love doing that actually helps people is so much fun. Like it's the best shite ever. I used to work as a photographer, and the day that it became not fun, I no longer work as a photographer because I was like, I'm not having fun doing this anymore. But with my nutrition or health or keep your body like strong and mind and all of this business, because it's not just about keto, I freaking have so much fun. So that's what I really wanted to say. I know you didn't ask about that, and I'm tending to digress, but I think that it's such a part in growing your business and having longevity that if people see that you are genuine, you're not lying, you're not selling like, and here's my used car, you know.
Yep.
If you do that and you pace yourself, you can keep up to our ever growing, technology crazy evolution without getting lost in the matrix. And like right now with this whole thing going on with Sharona, I will call it Sharona and nothing else but that. My business did not go down. It went up a lot, right? Because people were looking for ways to either be entertained, feel better, or improve their health. And so instead of like, oh, I'm going to pump out a bunch of like supplements, here, take this, this'll fight the Sharona. Instead of doing that, I just talked the way I've been talking forever. So I didn't change anything, but now they're more clued into what I'm saying, and then I can capitalize on that and still keep my own integrity. So it's just about like, it's all those types of things. It's knowing your audience. It's don't grow too fast. Don't count the numbers because you will never last. You won't enjoy the money that's coming in. You won't. You'll be obsessed with the numbers. And it's understanding the trends that come, understanding like my audience does love that I talk about keto, but I just bought a horse. And so showing other real sides of who you are is so much more interesting than me having a white chalkboard in the back of me writing down, let's talk about testosterone. And then I start talking about a thing called pregnetyl and going down all this like physiology that's boring you to death. I'll be like, all right, we're going to go ride horses and talk about how to boost your testosterone because it's so physical, something like that. So I'm trying to tie fun things together with that, with hard science.
Right. Man, that's I want to ask you about you've mentioned monetizing through ads on your videos. How else are you building the monetary side of your channel? So are you moving people to an email list and selling that way, or are you running ads? Like how, and maybe talk about too, like what it is that you're selling. Is it coaching? Is it a product? Like what else are you doing to generate revenue from your
subscribers? So I'll explain, encompass it all.
Yeah.
I don't run ads. I will. Like I said, I'm not quick to try to just hurry to promote. A lot of people share my content. So again, I'm a real person, and somebody's really struggling. They're like, well, don't follow this person. They're not going to give you the answer. So they'll share my videos. So I've relied on that old school philosophy for the moment. And when I'm ready to start, I did start doing live streams. I did start filming in a studio. I still started having the intros and outros, and I started doing all that type of more high-tech promotion. And when my studio had to shut down that I filmed in, I started filming in my apartment again. And I'd hear people say like, man, I miss that apartment. Like, I miss you filming with just your phone. And it made me realize, like the grassroots of it still does work really well, people. It does work. So what I do, my business is run around a couple of different things. So I do coaching. So people do online coaching with me, and I promote it as such. So I'm booked 6 months out and with 100 people on a waiting list. And it's too much. And so my calendar is about to be opened again, and then all those dates are going to get booked up again. I was like, okay, I cannot be one person and deal with hundreds of people. So why don't I create a certification program with people who are learning under me, my protocol? And so that's what I'm working on right now. Since I wrote a complete book, I actually canceled my publishing deal because I realized, and I would have made a lot of money off of that too, but I didn't like the deal. It was 10% 10% the first 6 months, 11% the second, and 15 max forever. And then after it signed the contract, I was like, okay, I got to pay the editor, the graphic, everything. I'm more making like 7% per book, or $7 or something per book, not percent, but $7 per book. And I was like, I could self-publish this, and even though I could have made money, I'll make 10 times more money if I self-publish. So my money's kind of been like a delayed reaction in my promoting. So what I did was I pushed back, I pulled back on that, and I was like, I can deconstruct all that information in that book and make a program out of it. So I can have people train under me, or I can have people just take a certification course. So there's two. I got interviewed by this guy named Sean Baker. He has a company called MeetRx, and they interviewed me, and they had all these people working for him. And I was like, all these women, right? I was like, what is this, your harem? I'm like, what? And all these women were reaching out and talking to me, and they start following me on social media and prepping me for this interview with him. And I started asking questions because they kept following me afterwards. And I was like, this guy runs the easiest business I've ever seen. He has a membership group, which I do as well. So one of the businesses I have is I have a membership group. So you can join that group. It's subscription based. It's $15 a month. Okay. That's like, you can wipe your butt with it. It costs nothing. I should charge a lot more, but I don't. And then I provide lessons, like literally today I'm releasing a lesson on why you feel like your heart's beating fast and feel like you're going to pass out when you have low blood pressure. It takes me 3 weeks to research and 2 days to write, and then that's a course lesson. And then I have them ask them questions. Have you had these? And then they'll answer, and then I respond on their answer, sort of like reviewing homework. And I am doing lessons, real hardened lessons, Monday through Thursday. Then Friday I have free uploading onto the page, because I do this through Facebook. So they sign up they have to pay for it through my website, and then I sign them up to Facebook, because the programs that they use for memberships aren't interactive enough as Facebook is, as much as I'm not a fan of that company. So they go and they sign up, and then I provide a lot of interaction because they love it. They need that community support. And so I did that, and that will be switched into two. I will create what Sean did. I will create a organization where basically he has all volunteers. I was like, do you get paid? They're like, no. I was like, why do you do this? Because we love what he's doing. I was like, oh snap. I said, well, why don't we split profits instead of me just making all the money? So basically what he did was he had people train or do consultations under the certification program. And they took, I think it's 60-40, he took 60, they take 40. And he's got like 50 of these people. Like he's got a ton of freaking people working for as a MeetRx certified, instructor. And then they have meetups, and they pay for the subscription itself. All he does is 1 day a week interview people for an hour. And then they've got thousands of people on their monthly subscription. Then they've got all these people working for them as staff for free, which doing editing on videos, all this stuff, because they love it, which I was like, that can't be right. Then
Wow.
I was like, I can't do that. So people started to want to do it with me, especially people from his group. And I said, well, tell him that you'd be working with me as well. And I said, I will split you a bigger profit for the consultations. And we could have, they're called meetings. So the team does a meeting on particular subjects. So if a group of women want to talk about a particular subject, I'll have a team leader lead that let's say 4-week Zoom meeting once a week, and I'll monetize it at a very low rate, or I can make it free to the subscribers, or I can make it people who are the public at large can pay a one-time fee for the one meeting or for the monthly package. And have to be involved in all of this stuff. I want to have a little more freedom in my life. So since I do so much work on this Facebook membership, then I can have a lot of these people take over. So I've already got like 8 women taking over. You know, like, you announce that there's going to be a post. You do this, you do that, and then on the weekends I do, as a part of the membership, I do mini consultations as a part of the package. It's $15, but you get to talk to me for 15 minutes. Whereas, when you're doing a consultation, you're paying up to $200, so you get this many consultations with me. And then now I have a woman who's going to moderate and go, oh, it's 15 minutes. Sorry, guys. Time for now the next person. Because I have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time going, wow, it's 15 minutes. Sorry, next person. So I have other people taking over these things that are very tedious and a headache. So with my advertising of this, it really comes down, because I know I've digressed a little bit, but I know it pretty much comes down to my YouTube channel. That filters people to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook is Stephanie the Business, and people name me as in the body business person, and the YouTube channel. And eventually, I will be offering a lot more things that are fun. So I did a keto challenge. It was 3 years ago, and made a really good amount of money on it. And this was designed and this is how I promoted it. So I did a 30-day challenge, and my friend said, oh, I'm doing a 30-day quit sugar challenge. I said, how much did you pay? She said I think it was like $18 or something. And I was like, for 30 days? I said, well, I'll charge $30 for 30 days. And then she let me get the password to look at the challenge. And there was like, there's like points, and you have to do an assignment each day. And whoever does it, they, get high on the leaderboard, and everybody can see that. And I said, well, what if you lie? And I asked, well, what do you win? She's like, you don't win anything. It's just like, the feel goods. I was like, oh, these people are trying to cut corners on their followers, like not maximizing, giving things to them. And I was like, she could have giveaways or something, or a consultation or something as a prize, but she didn't. And she had, I think, over 1,000 people join this at $18 a person. So I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't want to do a challenge. I don't want people to talk about weight loss. How about I do it'll be a course, but I'll call it a challenge to make it more fun. And it'll basically be 30 days of learning content, right? So $1 a day. And it'll run for a month. And each day I would release an assignment. It's up to them. And they don't have to, have numbers and count and any of that stuff. And I gave 5 times more content than this girl did. I did a bunch of video clip series, so they would get recipes, they'd get how-to videos, workouts, how to manage your body, like dealing with the thyroid or something like that. And they got this stuff every single day. And so it's $30 a person. 1,200 people I got to sign up, and they crashed my server. I said, if you pre-sign up, you get like a recipe file, right? So I didn't have enough space. I didn't know that many people had crashed my server. And within, a week, I made a lot of money. And that was just promoting me. Okay. I didn't have to do Facebook ads. I didn't have to run any ads.
Yeah.
Because like I said, even though I don't have 1 million subscribers, those 100,000, they really support me. See what I'm saying? So that's why I want
Yep.
people to do business in a different type of mind so they'll last. Because when you're going through divorces or you're going through an illness or you're going through a death in the family, you don't become overwhelmed by growing your business too hard. And then you're lying to everybody saying how great you are when you're dealing with health issues, and you've got to start wearing a turtleneck because you've gained 40 pounds and because you can't deal with all this stuff that you piled on your shoulders. So all my promoting really has been mostly through YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and I barely mention it, and they just come flocking. So when I finally do advertise, my audience won't be like, oh my God, just another idiot, like, rah, 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 buy my product, do this, la, 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 la. See what I'm saying? So I will go ahead and do the ads in the beginning. I have turned down every single affiliate program until now. So I've had every garbage company come to, even recently there was a company that was like, oh, we sell these wallets that can block, people can steal your, the information off your card. And it's like some lead case thing. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And they're like, oh, well, all we need you to do is do this speech. And I was like, okay, that's not me. And then I thought, this isn't my brand. I can just buy one of these because all I really want is the free products. I'll just buy it and screw them. I'll find better programs that I can make money from. So finally, a company called Ancestral Supplements, my brain just went blank. Ancestral Supplements, they have all glandular. So they do head to tail, not nose to tail. And what you guys don't know out there is that all the vitamins and minerals are in the that's why lions go after that's why carnivores like to rip out all the organs, because you have maximize your vitamins and minerals, because there's not a lot of vitamins. There's not the fat soluble vitamins in plants are useless. So vitamin D, E, A, and K, forget about it. You got to get that from animal fat. And then you get vitamin C in plants, but what you don't know is in liver and trachea, you get almost as much vitamin C in liver and trachea as you would in an orange. So then you don't have to deal with all that fructose and genetically modified fruit that has more fructose these days. So what I'm saying is that company came around, and the way they came around was I was literally already promoting their product against histamine and allergies by taking thymus from a sheep. And they heard about it and they're like, oh my God, we love that you're promoting us. And I was like, oh, totally. I'm already using your product. It works. And it's natural. And there's no binders and fillers and chemicals. So that was my first affiliate program. And then there's another program called Let's Get Checked. These are great because these are blood tests. So you through Sharona, you can't, that was a slip, right in it. So then people could go, if they're worried about blood tests, they don't have to go and worry about the whole trying to get a doctor's appointment, or they're doing Skype first initial appointments, to just find out what that blood test is, and just to see what's going on with your current health before you try to start any new dietary measure. So I can start promoting these things and feeling really good about it. And then what happens is, let's share what Stephanie says type of promoting. What you say actually does work with people wanting to share, because people forget when you're doing business, people will share your stuff. Like, that's huge promotion. I don't have to go and constantly harass my audience with emails. Now, I do have an email capture and I do put out blasts, but not very often because I don't like getting them. So I'll only put something out if I'm running like a challenge or something that's big, but I don't put out daily and weekly posts and newsletters. I just don't. I think just ebb and flow with people, get them and then pull back and keep them just hanging there before leaving, but don't overstuff things in their face. So, everything that I promote is from meal plans, then to exercise plans, to consultations, to a membership, a monthly membership that will divide a corporation and kind of do what they do at MeetRx. They do interviews with known speakers, so I'll do that as well. And have people train under me. I'll create certification programs for holistic functional doctors and for personal trainers. And they can go and take the course online and be certified by a program that I've already created. I just got to title it and move it around. I will, years ago, there was a woman, she did a live stream a live seminar, and she also had, it was $30, 2-hour talk. She had 1,000 people. That's 30,000. So I want to do those like 4 times a month. I mean, sorry, a year. Just really make it exclusive. I might do when we're able to be around each other again, but I don't know about that because I think things are pretty draconian right now. But are going to be for a long time. I want to expand and get more into sort of, I'm 53. I've had 10 surgeries on my left knee because I used to be a pro skater, and everything. I used to skate on big vert ramps. My leg got caught behind me. My upper body rotated, so my knee broke at the knee joint. So everything tore.
Oh, wow.
So the knee was like, the leg was hanging another direction. So I was on crutches for 4 years, and I also developed a deep infection in my leg. And so when it comes to, yes, I'm using health and exercise to promote myself, but there's a mentality that when you get older, this is what you've got to do. So I want to reach a bigger audience. I want to captivate a bigger audience about like living your best life. So that might go into some more personal vlogging to grow the brand. And so I'll do videos, I can do seminars, I can do webinars, that's it. Webinars on hit more subjects, monetize more subjects, but have already built such a reputation that when I'm ready to make the millions, I'll feel good about it.
Yep. Yeah. And it's totally on your terms, which is right in line with the idea of what we're doing, the concept of simple empire, of building something that serves you. And that's, I love hearing that from you about, that there is opportunity when you're ready, to go off and do something else. You don't have to always do health or keto, for example. That this can become a platform that you grow and are able to help even more people, because you definitely have a consistent thread about you of not living outside of integrity, that that by itself is something that people need to hear and will resonate with. So as we're wrapping up, I'd love to hear about your, like, do you have a vision? Do you think in terms of like 3-5 years from now? Do you think that far ahead? And if you do, where is it you're trying to get to?
Okay. I'm already living my best life, so I don't think that way. I never have. I left the country when I was 19, and I stayed until I was 35, living in Europe and traveling around the world without that thought. What am I going to do 3 to 5 years? My mother was like, what are you going to do? Like, you're not going to college. I'm like, I'll be solid no matter what I do. And I have been solid. I was invited onto the Dr. Oz show. They followed me for a year because they love my content so much. And so when I keep thinking like, I'm not really religious. I'm not an atheist. I do believe something's going on that I can't quantify, but I always feel like, when you put in the work, all it takes is, stay clear, don't get distracted, and put in the work. And if you hit a road, just go around it. There's a way around it. So now it's like there never was a block. Like people are like, I'm failing. I'm like, you're not failing. There's other ways. Don't give up so quickly. So I don't think 3 to 5 years from now, but I'll tell you one thing, I know what I want, which is going to happen now. I want to move to Texas. I want to move away from California. I've already put my work into it. I've already figured out how to transport my horse who was rescued, which that's a whole nother story, which I might even do vlogs on that, because the people who had him before was abusive, and they said, I'll never be safe around that horse. And he's like a freaking purring cat now, 6 months later. And, buying the horse, I've allowed myself to change my life. I used to be a pro skater. Then I moved to Europe. Then I moved back, and then I was a trainer. I was like, ew. And then I actually directed and wrote a film. And then I was like, the film industry is not my thing. So then I got into keto, and then I get invited onto all these shows and all this kind of stuff. But that's still not me, right? That's not my passion. My passion is waking up and knowing that I stay true to who I am, that I can't feel insecure about what I wear, what I do, how I talk, how, like how today in today's political climate, people are always trying to get you to morph over to what they think. They try with me. It never works because I'm so confident of what I've been through. We all been through, especially been on the planet for a while. You go through so much crap, either it breaks you or it makes you stronger. So if I moved to, not move, when I moved to Texas, my point is to buy a ranch. How exciting. Is that something that I think I can do? No, I'm doing it. Like, I don't have to think 3 to 5 years, just do it. So then I'm like, I buy a ranch. I don't need to be a bazillionaire. I buy a ranch. I have a couple horses, because what I realized through the charade of Rona, don't get triggered, people. I'm sorry. We all have our opinions. But, you know, here where I live in Hollywood, it's depressing. It's depressing. And so I get in my car, I drive 13 minutes to the outskirts of LA where the mountains are. And I have to, even last night, I got home too late. I could be there for friggin' 20 hours. Because I'm outside. I ride my bike to the gym. That's not being outside. That's not being outside. That's not being a human. So like being outside with a horse, like you're forced to be outside because you can't bring that damn thing in the house. So you're outside, and I'm one of these obsessed people. Like when I had my dog before he died, he was like this crazy trick dog. And now I have this horse and I can teach it. People are like, what the frack did you do to that horse? Because I spend so much time with him. Brrr. And so for me, I don't care about fame and a lot of money. I just want to live on a ranch with some horses, be chilling, have some good friends, eat some good food, do some fun stuff. And if I couldn't travel ever again because of a vaccination, that's what I said, sax. So I'm smart. Okay, I understand these platforms. Trust me, I say it all the time, and my videos do not get me demonetized. So I won't go for that. So if I never were to travel again, I'd be fine, because I've been to Africa 4 times. I've been to South America. I've been to Cuba. I've been to Iceland. I lived in Europe. You know, I've been to Australia and Bali and Asia. I've been. And so I just want to be chilling, and I want to learn how to do trick riding on a horse. So I may not be traveling around the world, but how I keep my youth is still do stuff that you're discovering. What next have I never done before? Because I will say this one thing. People need to stop living in the past. And you don't have to be so very afraid of the future if you know who you are. I'm tough mother sucker. I am so tough. No matter what hits me, I will bounce back. I don't have to project 5 years from now. I'm so solid, and I've been this way for so long. That's the only language I know. I told my mom when I was like 16, I'm going to be okay. And I was like, I'm going to be, no fear at all. And, you know, freaking 40 years later or 30 something years later, I still feel that way. And so all I want right now is, I'm tired of being at somebody else's facility that has a bunch of laws and rules, being with other people at a stable place. I want to be on my own. And then I just want to eat the best food, which I'm already doing. I don't have to project that. I don't have to wish having better health, because I have that. You know, for goals for myself, I've learned how to look at myself in a different way and go through that whole metamorphosis and turning from a moth into a butterfly, and really getting to know who I am at this juncture of my life, and to understand what's important. So I don't need all those ridiculous goals. I'm just living it right now.
You know, I probably, if I'd had a minute to think about it before I asked that question, I was like, I bet she lives in the moment. That served her well. And that makes total, everything you just said is so congruent with everything else in the interview, that it's no surprise to me. I'm sure it's no surprise to anybody else. And if folks are interested in connecting with you, checking out your what you're doing with your coaching programs, that kind of thing, where's the best place for them to go to just reach out and connect with you?
I think the best places to connect with me, to see me, would be YouTube, obviously. Then there's Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. My website is stephanieperson.com, just the way it sounds, like a person. Yes, that is my last name. I hate it for a long time because I didn't want people to know my last name. I was like, yeah, this is my little fun name. And or Facebook. Those are the main ones. But people sometimes just ask me questions like, how did you get your business started? What did you do? And I can cut it really short, not go into these long diatribes like what I did with you. Just go, start a YouTube channel, find out like don't be afraid. Start off with don't look at the comments, or always delete, block, and get rid of anybody that's upsetting you, because you don't have to let your audience rule you. And people say like, oh, you delete comments. I'm like, so if you don't like it, go somewhere else. If you want to stay here and learn something, this is what you got. Take it or leave it. When you're confident, so people can go to me those platforms, and I can talk about either how to do your businesses, or I might even, maybe I'll do coaching on that. That'd be fun. How to set up a business without Stephanie over talking, and how to sustain yourself for a very long time. So
yeah, well, I mean, to everybody who's listening to this, yeah, I would say stephanieperson.com, go there, because she's got links to all their other channels. But you definitely want to go to her YouTube channel, videos. I was telling her before we started, she's, and you hear it on this interview, just her energy is really infectious. I can't watch her videos without smiling. And you need to do it anyway, because you won't believe that she's 53 when you freaking see the video. So that's awesome. So go subscribe to everything that she's doing. She's got so much more to give than just health and keto. She's got business advice, and definitely check her out. And the last thing I'll end with, guys, we end the show with this every time. So if you are somebody that is interested in growing your business, if you already have an audience, whether it's 50,000, 100,000 YouTube subscribers, 10,000 YouTube subscribers, you might be interested in what we call our profit partner system. This is where we actually invest our own money in your business, and we build you a brand new digital product revenue stream. And we do that for free, and we share in the profits with you. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go to simpleempire.com/partner, read about it. If you're interested, let's chat. If not, no hard feelings. And thank you so much for listening. Stephanie, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right, guys, take care. We'll talk to you soon.